Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of House Divided. We just concluded week 5 of college football, and we concluded week 4. We're officially one quarter through the way of the NFL season, and we still got a long ways to go. But let's go ahead and jump right in. Chad Powers, the new quarterback for Southern Georgia. The viral sensation online. What do you think about his play?
I haven't watched a single episode, I'll be honest.
I haven't either.
I do want to watch it.
Yeah, but I'm excited. It seems good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Now, for real this time, Notre Dame dominated the Razorbacks and got their coach fired, which means Bobby Petrino's back in the spotlight in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
What are your takeaways from this game?
That Arkansas is just a terrible team. that Notre Dame obviously had tough 2 games out the gate, and they played both teams close, and they're a good team. I mean, they're not the team they were last year, but they're a good team. Jeremiah Love had a monster game on the ground and in the air, and I mean, we see when they use him, they're hard to beat. So I think Notre Dame, if they win out and some teams fall apart, they can sneak in there in the playoffs, especially because their 2 losses are, no losses are good, but they're good losses. And we'll see if that stays true for the rest of the season. The Arkansas side, I think it was time to part ways with Sam Pittman there. He had one good season. I forgot what year that was for him. But besides that, they've been a little underwhelming, especially this season. It wasn't necessarily the Notre Dame loss. It was the combination of the Memphis loss with not at least putting up a fight at home against a good team and get that marquee win. I think under him, the marquee wins. Was he there when Texas came in? I think he was a couple years ago. And then Tennessee last year. But besides that, they've been kind of underwhelming for a team that usually puts up more of a fight against some teams.
Yeah, definitely. And not the year we expect them to have, obviously, at the big level. Lucky for people here in Austin, prices to that game are going to be dropping, and we only have 3 home games left, so I guess that's a good takeaway for the people here. Other than that, hopefully it's just a turnaround for Arkansas. Try to I don't think you can resurrect the season at this point.
Yeah.
But
maybe
show signs of
game.
life. Yeah, get a bowl game. A little something to, not scare away recruits. Lay some foundations. For Notre Dame, great showing. That's what you needed to show. You have to find signs of life in every game because you're going to be kind of have to prove yourself down the stretch because you lost your 2 hardest games of the year, and you have to dominate games like this if you want a chance at the playoff.
Yeah,
so they did what they had to do.
It was a good display for Notre Dame, and it made my team A&M look better.
I could tell from the way you moved in your rankings.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of losses, man. It was a weird week. So, there was a lot of movement. But before we go into this next game, real quick, our best bet recaps. Sorry, I keep flexing it. 6-2 last week. I'm on a heater. 23-16 overall this season. Jose, another underwhelming looking here with 1-3.
Yeah,
5-13 in the season. I feel like you guys know the gist now. Do you follow my picks and do the opposite he does?
Well, it's clearly just year by year. They should have followed me last year.
Yeah,
you this year. Next year it's gonna be me again.
Yeah, or maybe it's a snake draft. I get it.
You get it 2 years
too.
and then okay, it could be.
All right, but moving on here to the second game, my Aggies, I just mentioned them. We win a kind of scary, low-scoring defensive battle there against Auburn. What are your thoughts for both teams and on the game itself?
Well, at least A&M stopped somebody for the first time this year. Unfortunately, that came at the sacrifice the offense. 16 points, pretty good. The Auburn defense, decent enough. They did the same thing to Oklahoma a week before.
I think Oklahoma scored 23.
I think they scored 23, which is not the same explosive Oklahoma offense you've seen. A good win, a win that previous A&M teams would not win. So that's the sign, you're building Elko's changes. You can start seeing the culture change from Elko. For Auburn, that's just not one you want to lose, especially after the loss to Oklahoma. It's two top 5 teams, or 2 top 10 teams really in a row now. I think they're 5-6 right now officially.
Yes.
So 2 top 6 teams that you were close enough but not really close. So you're just kind of in this weird middle ground. But I guess, again, for Auburn, it's just about building blocks for next year and the year after that, and for the great recruiting class. So it's just I like what I saw, not for this year, but for the long term Deuce Night teams from 2 years from now.
Yeah. On the A&M side, good to see we can win games in two different ways. Usually not able to do that. We won versus Notre Dame, high scoring, just our offense on display, and our offense didn't have it, but our defense brought it. But, I mean, we saw Oklahoma got, 9 sacks against Auburn. We got, 6 or 7. Yeah. So their O-line definitely needs help.
Yeah, so much.
But, obviously, good that we exploited it. Jackson Arnold, I mean, sometimes it was his offensive line. Sometimes he held the ball too long, so he needs to work on that. And then, Auburn side, like you've mentioned, 2 top 6 teams now on the road, back-to-back, kind of tough games there. They put up a closer fight. They didn't get blown out in either of them, so not bad there. They'll be a tough out for teams down the line, especially if they have to go into Auburn later in the year, as I can speak from experience. Even if they have 3 wins,
they don't have Peyton Thorne anymore.
They put up a fight, man. But no, it'll be interesting. Hopefully A&M keeps rolling and Auburn can find their footing here. I don't know who they play this week, to be honest. They might have a bye, but
they might need the bye.
Yeah. All right, moving on here to another SEC matchup at the same time going on. The Kiffin Bowl. Weeks versus Lane Kiffin. He won the battle versus Weeks. He was looking for him after the game. What's the season outlook for both teams and for Weeks with
Ole Miss has definitely now played themselves into serious SEC championship contender status and serious playoff contention status. In fact, they're probably the highest ranked SEC team. They should be the betting favorites just because of their undefeatedness. They beat a elite team, and Georgia has a loss, Alabama has a loss, Texas has a loss, LSU has a loss. A&M doesn't have a loss right now, but that's another one that's out there.
OU doesn't have a loss either.
But I'd say the win over LSU might be a little more impressive than the win over Notre Dame right now. Plus, it's in conference, so Chambliss just has that offense rolling, which is a big takeaway, and that defense. I want to give them two. They did a really good job. They completely shut down LSU's offense, but LSU's offense has been shut down multiple times this year by some lesser defenses. Then for LSU, it's just I don't know what good teams you're going to beat. The good team we thought you beat has proved to not be a good team, and
have a tough schedule.
And you have a good defense. If you score 20 points, you should be able to win. But the problem is they can't score 20 points. So, I don't know how you are going to. You can't win a shootout if your defense fails at one point. You can't win that game. So I'm very concerned about because it's one thing. Oh, maybe they had a fluke, but not as 3 times where they've done this where they shouldn't have. So.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss's D-line brought it like they always do at home in big games. We saw against Georgia last year as well. LSU. I think it's just a team we expect to come in and would be high offense and maybe an iffy defense, but it's the complete opposite, and I think we just got to get used to it. I still think they're a great team, but, obviously their offense needs to show up, especially with the talent they have, in order for them to reach the goals they have, and I think they can still take care of business. I know they have some tough tests ahead.
They play A&M, they play Alabama, and they play OU.
Yeah, is OU at home or away?
I think OU's away. But I'm not sure.
Might be. Well, I know they play Bama away, so that's a tough one already. They have a bunch of tough games on ahead, but if they end up with 2 losses and some impressive wins, they'll slide in the playoffs there. But, moving on here to this next game, the whiteout Penn State fails to win a big game yet again in double overtime.
Yeah, 0-15 now in the last 15.
What are your thoughts? We watched this game together, man. We had some such entertaining.
That was such a Drew Aller way to end the game, unfortunately. Just for 1 week. I guess what you said last week was for the NFL, but for 1 week you've been proven right.
I'm improved right his whole career.
Yeah, like the semifinal game and a lot of other games. This game ended like the semifinal game. Yeah, I thought Oregon looked like the better team the whole game,
They moved
except
the
for
ball
about
way more.
three to four drives in the fourth quarter. Aller did have that phenomenal throw on the touchdown, but that was it, really. Other than that, he looked off. Dante Moore is probably playing the best quarterback football right now. That's my biggest takeaway from this game. He did against elite defense. We really hadn't seen a test for him, and so no test on this elite offense. Last we'd seen him, he'd struggled with UCLA, but now he's really proven he's for real against an elite team.
Yeah, first order of business, Penn State, you're going to have to start wearing white on your whiteouts, man. It just looks like if I was just a random fan turning on TV, I would be thinking you guys are in white. Like, come on.
You also let Oregon bring out the special white mummy jerseys.
Yeah, like, get your stuff together. Second of all, last year when you guys played Ohio State or other teams, like, oh, it wasn't a whiteout. Like, it was in the morning.
Yeah, it was.
Here it was perfect.
Oh, we got screwed. We're playing Michigan and Ohio State at noon.
Yeah. And here you got prime time, whiteout, game days there, everything, and you still can't get it done. What's your excuse now? For me, I saw it like I predicted. I predicted Oregon, and obviously it came true. Yeah. But it's their coach, man. You have to look at himself in the mirror, like, why can I beat these top 5 teams in our house in the perfect scenario we want them, when on paper they should have the better team this year. Yeah. And they just can't get it done. Drew Aller, I do put some blame on him, but it's mostly they didn't really unleash him. Yeah.
When they unleashed him, he was actually decent until the interception.
There was times he looked nervous, but once they kind of said, like, hey, we'll let you throw deep throws, that's when they scored those 2 touchdowns at the end, and that's when I was like, okay, I see some flashes, but I mean, I need to see it throughout the game, and it makes me wonder, like, why don't they do it throughout the game? Oregon side, like you said, Dante Moore made plays when he was needed. Obviously, ideally, he would have put in a good drive in the fourth quarter and put the game away, but that Penn State defense and crowd was riled up after that first Drew Aller touchdown. But overtime did what he needed to do, matched Penn State's touchdown, and scored another one. And then, I mean, Drew Aller, just an awful throw in overtime, ended the game. And gotta love Dan Lanning, man, passionate guy, crying at the end of the game. Honestly, great overall game. A lot of coaches love to
cry when they beat Penn State at that stadium for some reason.
Great overall game. I really enjoyed watching that game. The beginning was a little slow, but second half picked up, and overtime was amazing. So no complaints there, man.
Yeah, I agree. Now let's take it to the other game that was headline in the night.
The dual.
The Tide rolled past Georgia this week to continue their dominance of the Bulldogs and end the Georgia home streak. What are your thoughts on this game? Concerns for either side, or just impressed by it?
I don't really have concerns on either side, I'll be honest. I think I saw an interview, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I dreamed it, that Kirby Smart says he doesn't care that Bama has owned them in a sense. To me, like, I get what he's saying. Like, they've won 2 national championships, they've won some conferences, but you should care, man. This is your new rival. You should care that this team has stopped you before from beating conference championships. You should care that this team came into your house, and when you were supposed to beat them after 33 straight games at home and beat you, you should care they beat you for national championships before. You should care that this team has beat you 11 out of 12 times. You should care about that stuff, and him saying that just makes him sound like a sore loser in that moment.
I mean, I get where he's coming. It's more like we're upset we lost. We don't care who we lost to.
Well, yeah, but like, it should sting more that it's the same team that keeps beating you over and over and
I'm sure
you.
But I wouldn't
like,
admit
if you lose,
to that.
Well, yeah, but like, he should care. His statement was, "I don't care." Like, Alabama beat us, basically.
Yeah, I don't think
you should.
I don't
care.
think I'd want my coach to go out to. I care that the specific team.
Yes, you should. That's what the rivalries are. You should care more.
I've always been to the mind.
Would you rather lose to? Trying to think, to a good team, lose to OU or what's a team on OU's level that's not a rival? OU or LSU.
I'd rather lose to LSU, but what I'm saying is, as a coach, you kind of like.
Yeah,
the whole thing is about setting up your mind. Is like, every opponent is the same opponent. You don't want to really
but
put
you
special
should.
level on a
But
team.
why has he never like? Because people ask him, "Oh, does this hurt from Alabama?" That's why he said like, "I don't care." And I'm just saying, like, you should care if this team has owned you and stopped you from winning national championships and stuff. Like, you should.
Well, I mean, he should care because it's his job to care, but I don't think it's his job to care specifically because it's one
Yeah,
team.
but he should. It does. It's not a big deal.
Just because it's his rival, I don't think it being.
I'm not saying he should put more importance, but he shouldn't say like I don't care. That's what I'm saying. Like he obviously should care. I'm not saying like he should care extra. I'm just saying he should care. He should have said like, oh, it's not a difference that it's Alabama versus FC West or whatever.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay.
You should care that this team has owned you. Then, what was I saying? The game itself, Ty Simpson.
Phenomenal.
I was throwing some lasers. Looked comfortable in the pocket, kind of dot him up. Ryan Williams had a drop early on. But, I mean, those three receivers are special. I don't know anyone in the country that can, I guess Florida State did, but anyone in the country that can shut those three guys on their A game. And hopefully Ryan Williams can get his stuff a little more together and stop dropping balls. I think he has the most drops in the conference. And that defense looked a little bit better than they did in weeks prior. And then for Georgia, that defense still looks a little shaky, especially that pass defense. And then Gunner Stockton and those receivers didn't look comfortable in that game, and they couldn't really get open. And I think that was the difference. Obviously, I forgot who had a big drop at the end of the game for Georgia. That was also crucial. But no, I'm not concerned for Georgia. I think they'll win out the rest of the season and be in the championship and probably win it unless they play Bama, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought Bama looked great. They were able to. I thought Georgia looked good too. There were moments where I thought that game was going to get a little closer, but just Alabama just kept striking with how good Simpson looked. What I just said about how great he looked and really established, I think Simpson did the same thing. Yeah. I think he's looked like the most accurate, precise, strong-arm passer that I saw this week. By far, he looked phenomenal. He looked like a national champion winner in that game. He looked on point.
I think like an NFL
he looked like an NFL quarterback. So that's my biggest takeaway. If Alabama puts the pieces together and Simpson can play like that down the stretch, they are 100% national title contenders.
Yeah, my concern with I like their team. My concern is their schedule. They have some tough road games ahead. Yeah. OU they got at home, but South Carolina, even though it's still a tough place to play. They got Vandy coming in. They play LSU. They got them coming in. Who's another? They have one more tough road game. Give me a second. It is at Missouri.
At Mizzou.
And then they got Tennessee coming in as well. No slouch there.
No.
So, and at Auburn too.
At Auburn.
So Auburn. Same thing. 2-loss SEC teams with good wins. Depending on what other teams do, it should still be good enough. So kind of control your own destiny there, and two great teams that are still fighting for Atlanta and the playoffs.
Yeah. I'll say the one last thing on Ryan Williams. He just wasn't expecting that the ball can actually arrive those days. He wasn't used to it last year.
And he didn't have to do that weird twirl this year. All right, you want to go straight into your top 10? A lot of movement, probably a lot of losses.
Yeah, number 1, I'm actually gonna keep the same. I'm sticking to Ohio State.
You can just go through.
Okay. Number 2, Oregon. They got the big win. Miami, I'm gonna put at number 3. Ole Miss, number 4, they got the big win. They should be top of the SEC right now. Big win, undefeated. OU, number 5. Texas, number 6. Indiana, number 7. Alabama, number 8. They get the big win over Georgia. That propels them back into the top 10. Texas A&M University, number 9. And the University of Georgia, number 10.
All right, I didn't want to mess with that whole Georgia, Florida State, Alabama, Virginia stuff, even though Virginia shouldn't be in there, but Florida State should be again. Bama, whatever. So I stayed away from them. So I did Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, big win, probably the best win yet in the country. Miami 3, I think Oregon's win's a little more impressive, and Miami had a bye week. So I got Ole Miss 4, big win. A&M 5 had 2 back-to-back good wins. And I would have OU over, but we don't know Mateer if he's going to be back for Texas. So I knocked him a little bit. Then I got
I'm
Indiana
pretty sure
6.
I think he is going to be back.
Yeah, but it's not confirmed. So 6, Indiana, blowout, good, tough trap game, and Iowa took care of business. And then OU, and then I got Texas, and I got Penn State coming off that loss. I mean, they haven't really beat anyone, but they're still a good team. We'll see what they do against better competition.
Do you think they'd beat Georgia though?
Penn State?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I didn't want to add Bama, Georgia, and because you got to put Florida State ahead of Bama. And then Iowa State, number 10. I think they're really good, and they have a tough game this week, but they're a really good team. I'll give them some love. All right, and then moving on to the NFL. Here we had a little shocker early there on Sunday. Jackson Dart upsets the Chargers in his first career start, but Malik Neighbors does go out to the to a season-ending injury, unfortunately.
ACL and meniscus, and there goes my fantasy seasons. Yeah. In every league, man.
You have them in every league?
Every single one except my dynasty league. Oh,
so that's unfortunate.
I drafted him in every league I have for this year.
He's doing good too.
Had expectations.
Yeah, but I mean the game itself, I think it goes back to being one of those weird games. I think after 3 dominant performances going cross country to a trap game and a bad team in the Giants with a quarterback you haven't seen play before. Not too worried about the Chargers on the Giants side. I really liked what I saw from Dart. He has swagger to him. He has kind of some composure and has improvisation abilities that a team like the Giants need. And I think they'll be a tough fight for teams along the line, especially with that D-line they got. But, I mean, I don't have any playoff aspirations or anything crazy for them, but good thing they made the move to him so he can get more experience, and maybe next year or the year after they can be pushed with his rookie deal and build a team around him.
Yeah. For Dart, I wouldn't say he played a very good game, but he did what in the end they needed to. He got the touchdown, the rushing touchdown. He led the drives down to put up scores in the Chargers, and more importantly, the defense picked off Herbert twice. So. Just a bad game from the Chargers overall. You lose Alt. O-line is off, of course, now a concern. No Alt, no Slater for a couple, and no Alt's only a couple of weeks, but Slater's a big loss for the year. He's been out all year.
Oh, I forgot. He went down too. That's a big loss.
So they have none of their starting tackles.
Yeah, that's a big concern for them.
So it's just making these couple weeks without Alt. I think they're going to be fine down the stretch anyway. You still have the quarterback. You still have the defense. So you still have the receivers. Ladd McConkey hasn't had, but Quentin Johnston's finally looking like
Allen as well.
Yeah, looking like a player you drafted in the first round.
He's a number 4 receiver ranked in fantasy, which is
great, man. Yeah. He's hopefully he can keep up the production because he's my Malik Neighbors replacement in one league. For the Giants, you got another game against New Orleans. Hopefully, build up confidence for Dart. I want to see better decisions, better playmaking with the ball, throwing the ball specifically. Most importantly, I think the culture is starting to change in New York, which is what you wanted to see.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the speaking of injuries, probably the biggest injury of the weekend that is not year-long. There were year-long, not year-long. Lamar Jackson is expected to miss time, and the Ravens are sitting at 1-3 after a loss to Kansas City. What's next for both of these teams?
For Kansas City, I mean, especially with Joe Alt's injury, and the Broncos being kind of even with them, and the Raiders not being as competitive at times. I think the Chiefs can still take a strong hold in this division. They had a good performance. Mahomes kind of had a vintage Mahomes game. Worthy's back. Obviously, it was very noticeable on that field.
Very noticeable.
And then on the Ravens side, I don't know how long Lamar is out for. Hopefully not a long time. They
Problem
do
is
have
the two games you play Houston most definitely, like almost 100% probably without Lamar.
Yeah.
And then if you get a somewhat healthy Lamar, you're still facing the Rams the week after that.
Yeah, I still think they take care of business against Houston with or without Lamar, to be honest.
You have that much faith in Cooper Rush after watching
I have
him.
no faith in Houston. Their O-line is wow. I mean, I saw the Titans carve up that O-line. And I feel the Ravens defense will lock in now. And I still think depending on how far when Lamar comes back, they can sneak in that wild card spot. But I think that division, especially if he's out for 3 to 4 weeks, is kind of out of reach for them. But you never know. The Ravens sometimes go on 10-game win streaks, but they need to start winning now, and starts with Houston on Sunday, and I think they'll get that done. But in the future, we'll see, man. But I mean, they're basically have the same team as last year, so obviously they had a tough schedule to start with Detroit, Bills, and Chiefs. So you can't really blame them. Obviously, you would like to be 2-2 at least with those, but I mean, you just look ahead to the divisional games and Lamar, and hopefully Lamar can come back for those.
It's still tough. You still play the divisional games. You still play the Rams. You still play the Packers. I'm pretty sure. So
we'll see. I don't know when Lamar's coming back. That's gonna be the difference.
All right. Yeah, for me, I'd see them as starting most likely 1-5, which is to me the biggest concern, because I do think Lamar's out this week. I think most likely Lamar's out 2 weeks. I think that's probably seems the most likely to me, even if he isn't out 2 weeks. If he plays this week, I think they win, but I don't think he will. I think
he won't play this week.
But if he does manage to come back for the Rams game, I still think the Rams win that game.
Houston's atrocious.
So I'm going with. I have the Rams at the Ravens at 1-5, which is very concerning to me. Just long term, I still think they could manage a wild card. Obviously, very much in the picture because they're a very good team, and the schedule gets easier. Not easy. It's the NFL. Then for the Chiefs, situation's kind of looking really good. You got Worthy back. You get Rashee Rice back in 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
Well, the third game they played. Oh, okay. He'd play week 7. Yeah. So, and then the Chargers got a loss against someone you didn't expect, so you're only 1 game down, not 2. Yeah. They had a big injury that's
They played the Chargers in Kansas City, right?
Oh, I don't know who the home team in Brazil was, technically speaking.
I think it was the Chargers. Let me look it up while you continue doing that.
Yeah, so Chargers are probably your hardest game left alongside the Bills, so.
They're playing Lions, too.
Yeah, but I mean, divisional, I think, just takes it to.
Yeah, it's in Kansas City.
It's in Kansas City, so that's good. So it's going to be an interesting divisional race for them.
Yeah.
But definitely a lot more positive outlook. You're starting to get the momentum going, because those losses weren't bad at all. You lose a close game to the Chargers, you lose a close game to the Eagles, and that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. Speaking of the Eagles, they continue to remain undefeated. It's kind of like the Chiefs of last year, winning some close, crazy games against great teams. This week, the Bucs were victim.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on both these teams and the Eagles' season outlook?
Yeah, I mean, historically, I'd say this is unsustainable. But Kansas City made the Super Bowl a year ago doing the same thing, so they could 100% do it again. At least the thing that looks bad is the passing game, which I think is going to be an easier fix than we're getting dominated in the trenches, and that's why we're. So they're still very strong defensively. They're strong offensive line-wise. They're strong defensive line-wise. Obviously, you have concerns about what the Rams and the were able to do in the first half, and then the Buccaneers in the second half of this game, where you stalled both of those halves. But I think they're going to be able to solve this. Just you have a new offensive coordinator, and I think that's kind of been an issue, especially since Kellen Moore, I think, has actually done a respectable job in New Orleans with the roster he has. So it shows what they're missing out on. But I think this is something they're going to figure out. I wouldn't say, I've said it all year, my NFC favorites are the Rams, so I don't have them in the playoffs. But I mean, not the playoffs, the Super Bowl. Sorry.
I was going to say.
But they're 100% still going to win the East, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about much.
Yeah, I think we both thought the Eagles coming in would be an amazing regular season team. Just because their schedule is not the hardest and their division, there's been a lot of injuries early on, especially. And
I mean, also those two of those close possession games were two of the best teams in the NFC, probably division winners in the NFC. The team they played in the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs, and then their division rival. So it's like you kind of expect those games to be close too.
Yeah, but I mean the 2 block field goals.
2 block field goals. Yeah, but, that's the like iffy one.
But I just don't think come playoff time. I mean, I'm not saying it's crazy if they make the Super Bowl. I just don't think it's sustainable for the December, I guess. And then for the Bucks, it was kind of evident. I mean, Ibuka is amazing. Gonna probably be rookie of the year, bar any injuries. He's been amazing. He's helped Baker out a lot. Godwin's back. Good to see that.
Once they have the 3 guys, it's gonna be.
It was evident. Mike Evans, they were missing that big target, especially on third down. Especially for Baker, who loves to go to Mike Evans there on third down. But Bucky had a big game. He had a big catch after a fumble. Love to see that bounce back. But as the Bucks, like honestly, keeping up with that Eagles team and taking them to the brink is good. It builds up confidence for them that they can do it in December or if they face down the line. And I do think they can do it. I feel like this team has slowly been improving every year with Baker, and I think this year they're really good, and their division is not the best, so they should wrap that up with ease and have a home playoff game.
Yeah. I like that what you just said. I liken it to when Eli Manning in 2007 said well, the way it was in the regular season we played the Patriots, we lost 35-31. So it's we knew we could hang with them.
Keep up with them, yeah.
We knew we could keep up, and then bam, they
beat them.
They beat them.
Yeah. All right. This last NFL game, Micah's big return to Dallas. He did get a charity sack there at the end, but it ends in a draw for both teams. What are your thoughts on this game? What are your thoughts on Green Bay and the Cowboys and what?
Dallas really is the definition of play to the competition's level. George Pickens, way to step up when the moment needed you to. He looked great. Dak looked great again. He finally had the stats game. Scored a lot of touchdowns, threw a lot of yards. He looks phenomenal as he usually does. Don't let people tell you otherwise. For Dallas, the defense just looks like the defense you were expecting. For Green Bay, the defense looks like the opposite of the defense you were expecting. I don't know what happened. That dominant defensive line didn't look that dominant. That secondary just was able to get torched by the wide receiver 2 of the Cowboys. Sure, probably maybe the best wide receiver 2, but got torched.
Top 3.
Top 3, top 2. Yeah, I didn't really
Devontae
Adams.
One of the best.
Is a wide receiver 2 now, so that's obviously probably number 1 wide receiver 2.
It's probably 2 or 3. I'm trying to think, but
yeah. There's an elite group of level 2 receivers, but and then the offense looked good again. He dropped 40 points, so can't really.
Anyone can drop 40 against the Cowboys, man.
Sure.
I guess it's a good result. I thought we were gonna get smacked coming in, but I mean,
you can't be upset as
watching the game. I think it's a game we should have won. Our offense was clicking.
Yeah.
George Pickens had some massive catches. Yeah. I think it was.
Just think if you had CeeDee.
Yeah, I don't think it would have helped because we can't stop them. Our offense wasn't the issue, man.
No, but you could have gotten a quicker strike or something.
I love to see CeeDee get so high for him on the sideline. Love to see that 2 receivers supporting each other. I mean, we have the number 1 offense, but the worst defense in the league. So I mean,
So that's fun. That's the clicks, fun.
Yeah,
that's social media football right there.
I mean, that gives us a chance to fight for the playoffs and be in every game. But I mean, we need to have even an average defense to make some noise. Yeah. For the Packers, concerning you tied to this team, especially without CeeDee Lamb. Concerning you allowed, obviously it's a good offense, but 40 points when your identity is supposed to be offense. I think Jordan Love had a good game. Josh Jacobs had a good game. Looked like he was just running through dummies out there. And yeah, man, I think hopefully we can turn this defense around, and hopefully we can get CD back soon, and we can get that offense to its full power. There was one throw, I think it was either overtime or late in the fourth quarter, where Dak rolled out on the run, and like I didn't even see the receiver on the screen. That was one of the best throws I've seen in a while from Dak or from anyone, and I was like, whoa.
I think it was a more impressive catch, but yeah, pretty good throw.
I mean, the way he got rid of that sack, but no, the catch was also good. No, but yeah, hopefully we can turn this defense around, and we're not going to win the division, but maybe fight for a wild card spot. And then as long as we put up fights against teams and I see our defense improve, I mean, it'll make me feel better, man. But that just, like, I know every time the offense gets the ball, they're just going to keep moving it. It's 3rd and 18. They get a first down. They get a holding, and I'm like, oh, we have a chance to stop them. And 2nd and 20, Jordan Love, like, finds the dart. It looks like they're just practicing out there, and it's so like morally draining for me watching like teams just move the ball on us like that. But hopefully we can turn it around, and hopefully Dak keeps playing like this because he's playing really good. All right, man. That's it for our reactions. Let's go straight into these predictions. I'll hype people up for this one, and I'll let you take the lead because it is your team, man. I think to me it'll be the game I'll be looking at the most this weekend. Saturday Swamp Showdown down there in Gainesville. Your Texas Longhorns versus Florida, and it's not at night, 2:30, but it could turn into night. But yeah, man. What do you want to see from your team? What are your thoughts on this game? And
this is an offense that has struggled. DJ Lagway threw 5 interceptions against LSU. I want us to get 6 on them. That's probably not going to happen. Get 2 or 3.
I think he'll get benched when he gets to 2 or 3.
Get 2 interceptions and a fumble. That's what I want to see. I think we can shut him down, keep him under 17 points. I think we can do. And I think we can score. If we can score like 27, somewhere between like 27, 38 points, somewhere in that range, that's what I want to see. I want to see that offense clicking, going. I don't want to see it stagnate. I want to see long, sustained drives that are balanced. I want to see us being able to hit those intermediate to long throws that we've kind of haven't hit all year. That's where Arch was succeeding a year ago when he came in relief of Quinn Ewers. And I want to see that run game play like it played a couple weeks ago, really being able to get those deep carries with those 2 running backs. For Florida, I'd root for you any other week. I want to see you throw 6 interceptions this week. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
you can handle them.
I think this is going to be a very interesting game. I think might be another Ohio State-Texas game where it's very ugly, very low scoring. I think Florida's defense is underrated to a stretch. I think obviously LSU's offense hasn't been that impressive, but if your quarterback throws 5 picks and you only allow 17 points to the other team, that's pretty good, man.
That's pretty good.
Or I think it was 20 or 17. Like, that's pretty good. And they also kept Miami a little quiet relatively for that high-powered offense. So I really like this defense, especially against Arch, who we haven't seen the best out of him against decent competition. And we saw him get a little nervous.
Pretty good team.
He didn't even look good that game. The game he looked good is Sam Houston.
Sorry, Sam Houston. Sam Houston's even better than San Jose.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? No, I Texas is definitely. I like their defense better and their offense better, and they're mostly every position. So I do think Texas is gonna win, but I do think it's gonna be low scoring and kind of ugly. And I think there'll be moments Arch is gonna get a little nervous. I'm not saying throw a pick, but maybe have some questionable decisions or bad passes, kind of like not to the extent he did at Columbus, but somewhat. But I do think Texas will take care of business in Gainesville there.
Be better.
All right, man. Another big SEC game here. Another one I'm looking forward to. Can Bama get their revenge on Diego Pavia at home this time?
100%. I think so. They're a better team than they were a year ago. They're stronger defensively. They're stronger offensively. Their receiving room's a lot better now. Ryan Williams is a year more developed, even though he hasn't had the best year. Like I said, it's because he just doesn't expect the ball to actually make it to him. And I think what Vanderbilt was able to do is they shut down Milroe's ability, and they forced him to throw the ball. Couldn't. I guess what you're going to want to do is force Simpson to run the ball because he can put that ball anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think Bama wins this game handedly. I think they cover their 10.5 spread. I think they get a good revenge, and they remind Vanderbilt that they're not even little brother. They're the dog. That you live outside the house. You live in the garage. You are not even little brother.
I do think Bama's going to win. Let me say that first. But I disagree. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a good, high-scoring game. I think Diego Pavia lives for these moments, and he loves these games, and he's going to show up and somehow put a Superman cape and get his team within striking distance. But I do think that Bama offense and those receivers are going to be the difference, and Bama's defense is going to come up with a stop early in the fourth quarter where they kind of put the game away, up 9, up 8, and they kind of drain Vanderbilt out of that game. So I am going to pick Bama, but I think it's going to be close, man. A little high scoring, maybe not necessarily Big 12 shootout, but maybe like a SEC shootout.
I'm hoping for a theoretically they are next moment from Ty Simpson.
Yeah, man. All right, this last one for college, a little bit of a smaller slate here this week. After that big one we had last week, the Seminoles had a tough loss against Virginia there on Friday night. They're playing Miami, an in-state rival. Will they bounce back or?
No, they will not bounce back. I think it'll be a close-ish game. I don't know what. I think it'll be like a 7-point game. It's gonna be one of those games where Miami, I think, can take the lead early, slow down a little in the third. Florida State fights back a little, and then doesn't quite get there because Miami scores to make it like 14 with like 3 minutes left, and then Florida State can like score again, go for the outside, but they don't run out of time or something like that. It's kind of what I'm picturing. I just think they're too strong offensively. They're way too high-powered against a Florida State defense that just let up a ton of points to a decent enough Virginia team, but doesn't compare to Miami. And then that offense is facing one of the better defensive tests they've faced all year. That secondary, I've mentioned them a couple of times. They're looking pretty good because they were the weakness of the Miami team a year ago, and they're impressing me. Obviously, that D-line is strong enough to stop Florida State. What I want to see Florida State do is you're, I think, second in the country in rushing yards. I want to see you do that. I want to see you try to be able to pound the rock. And I think that's kind of the way you get at Miami here.
Yeah, I honestly agree. I think Miami's going to win. I kind of agree with the script you kind of broke down. Maybe they take an early lead and then Florida State's crawling back in.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be high scoring. I do like so Miami's defense, but I think this Florida State is high-powered enough to put up 20 to 30 points on them, and Miami's offenses as well. Hopefully Carson Beck remains this form and we don't go back to Georgia Carson Beck, because if not, I am going to pick Florida State. But no, I really like Miami's defense this year. I like their D-line, and I think we saw Virginia kind of get to Castellanos there a little bit, so I think this Miami...
Yeah, when you got Ruben Bain on the other side, it's going to be a little more...
This Miami defense is going to get to him even more and create some havoc, especially in the passing game and maybe his QB draws and things like that. But yeah, man, it's a game I'm excited for. Probably won't watch it because I'm at ACL, but I will watch the...
You will be watching Sabrina Carpenter instead.
Yeah, the highlights, man. But no, it's going to be a good game, and would like to see Florida State win. I like upsets, but I do think Miami has this one in the bag.
Yeah, I agree with Miami getting the win. Please get us the win.
Us.
Prove me right.
Oh.
Prove me right. Prove him right. You don't really need to prove him right. Just prove me right, because I've been wrong a lot.
All right, moving on to the NFL. We got an NFC West showdown here on Thursday Night Football in back-to-back weeks, but this time it's the Niners versus the Rams.
Yeah,
I'll make it quick.
It's a showdown.
Yeah. It's the Rams, man. The Niners riddled with injuries. Their two receivers.
No Purdy, no Pearsall. Yeah. Jennings. Pearsall's out. I think Jennings still questionable.
Yeah. Bosa's obviously out.
Okay. Bosa's obviously out.
It's the McCaffrey game.
It is. Is McCorkle still kind of hurt? I think he's going to start, but he's playing kind of hurt. So yeah, it's gonna be the Rams. I think they're the best team in the NFC.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess I technically can't say that they lost to the Eagles, but they're my pick to win the NFC. Uh, and they're just decimated in San Francisco, just decimated.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see with all these injuries if the Rams Stadium is still a San Francisco home game.
Probably.
Yeah. Short and simple. Rams mostly do with injuries, short week. They're the better team. Not much more to say, to be honest. All right, let's move on here to this next game. The 2018 QBs battle in Seattle. We got Darnold versus Baker, two QBs from that class that have researched themselves.
Dude, I remember that draft. It was like, what's
Shocker.
his name? For the entire draft scene was like, well, Sam Darnold's a slam dunk #1 pick. He's going to Cleveland. We don't even think about it. And then it was like the time, well, could they go Josh Allen just because of all the upside? And it was like, well, it's 100% going to be that at 1. 100% Saquon, not 100%, but it was like 95% sure Saquon's going to be a Giant. And the Jets were locked in on Baker Mayfield, right? And then, like, I remember, like, maybe like 8 a.m. on draft day, it's like, Baker Mayfield's going to be the #1 pick. And everybody's like, no way. It's a rumor, like, for some reason, maybe trying to get to, like, trade value or something. They had the 4th pick. Who knows, right? And bam, Roger Goodell steps up to the podium and he says, with the #1 pick, the Cleveland Browns select Baker Mayfield. Crazy. The Jets get Sam Darnold. I'm sure they weren't expecting that. And then they both end to have not the best. Sam Darnold had a very, very bad stint with the Jets. Baker Mayfield had a couple good years in Cleveland. He should have stayed. If Cleveland knew, they should have kept him. He beat the Steelers in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. What other Browns QB can say that? He won you a playoff game after how long?
I think it was his second year, right?
You ditched him after one bad year in which he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I mean, obviously the next year was bad, but he was in Carolina, so, like, you can't even
blame him for that.
Yeah. So I like seeing the redemption stories. There's 2 guys from redemption stories, 2 highly promising college quarterbacks with all the talent in the world who came to the NFL, were stuck in some franchise that has been stuck in the low ends for 50 years now. The Browns, basically, since they came back in the league, and the Jets haven't really been much since Joe Namath. Maybe the Mark Sanchez years were the best they've had since then. And, you know, you have Sam Darnold go to San Francisco. You have him go to Minnesota. You have him rebuild his career with 2 great coaches. He has a phenomenal year last year in Minnesota. He comes to Seattle. What a story. Same thing for Baker. He goes to LA, has a great coach in that couple of weeks, goes to Tampa, rebuilds his career there, wins the division a couple of times at Tampa Bay, succeeding Tom Brady. I've just went off on a tangent, and I'm sorry. I just realized. Yeah.
What game? Are you going to talk about the game on Sunday?
I was like, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the draft. Not the draft. Sorry, I'm talking about the game. Sorry about that. You guys got to hear my voice a little too much today. I'm going with the Seahawks. I like what they did last week. I like what they did the week before, and I like what they did the week before that, even if it was my team. I think JSN's gone off to a great start. I think Sam Darnold's proven that it wasn't Minnesota. He's a really good quarterback. I like what that defense being able to do. I think McDonald's a great coach who's gonna solidify. And I think without Mike Evans, and without possibly Bucky Irving, I don't really love Tampa Bay situation right now. So I'm leading.
Yeah, I'm also leaning Seattle. I think they have a bigger rest. They're there at home, and I really like that defense. They're the definition of bend but don't break.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to miss Mike Evans yet again, especially on 3rd down. Mm-hmm. And like you said, JSN had a massive start to the season, looking like a top 5 receiver. And I think they'll continue to do that, and they'll take care of business against the Bucks, even though I do think the Bucks are the better team. But I think on Thursday, the Seahawks will show they are the better team.
Yeah.
All right, man. This last one, Monday Night Football, Chiefs versus Jaguars. I think it's in Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. What are your thoughts on Monday night?
That's going to be a good game, dude. That Jacksonville defense has been stout. Finally paying off the picks they've made over the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
The question is obviously going to be that offense for Jacksonville. Can they do it against it? What we think is a good Kansas City defense that's obviously had its ups and downs against tough opponents this year. So I think Jacksonville, what they really need is Trevor Lawrence to click. He hasn't clicked all year. You need Brian Thomas to click. He's been iffy after a great rookie year. And then Kansas City, I think you have the momentum, which is why I'm going Kansas City. They have the quarterback who just scored 4 touchdowns. They have the receiver back in Worthy. And they have the defense, I think, to fully shut down that offense, who I think is going to struggle a little.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to also go Kansas City. I do like this Jags team. Mm-hmm. I just think Kansas City.
And I think fully that they could win. I
think they'll go on this. The streak usually go where they win a lot of games in a row and look like dominant again, especially with Worthy back. And I think their defense is always underrated. They're always one of the best, making it hard for teams to score every single drive. It's rare you see them give up big plays. It's usually you have to pound them down the field. And I do like the Jags, but I just don't trust Trevor Lawrence in this moment just yet. Mm-hmm. And Brian Thomas has struggled a little bit to start the year. But yeah, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs solely because of experience and the way I feel like they're building momentum right now. But speaking of building momentum,
we'll see how well the Jaguars have the Chiefs signals down. But that's
hopefully everyone is building momentum in their fantasy teams. But you want to go into your 3 players you think are gonna go off this weekend?
Let's talk about a guy who's facing your defense, and I think that's all everybody needs to hear. Cowboys defense, and you're going to want to play this guy, especially at only 13 projected points. Garrett Wilson.
13? Mine's at 15, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine was on NFL, and it was at 13.
Mine was NFL at 15.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it probably went up.
It probably went up. Yeah. Well, Garrett Wilson, 14 points. I also have that one. I mean, just atrocious defense, and he's been getting a lot of targets, so he should put up around 20 points.
Yeah, you got to double down on Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Then Xavier Worthy, just talked about him. Well, I do think that defense for the Jaguars is really good. It's just like he got 17 points last week with no touchdown. He was a target machine. He's a yards after catch machine too. He's very good. He's a deep threat.
I feel like he always scores on prime time too.
He does. So he's got another week back, another week in the system, another week healthier, and I just think at 12 points he's got a lot of upside. And then lastly, I have Chris Olave. He's facing the Giants, a defense. A defense is a defense I like. As a secondary, I don't love the unit. Rattler's been doing a decent enough job finding Olave. He scored, obviously, last week. And I think this is going to be a game where you're obviously trying to catch up against the Giants, who I think is going to be able to control this game a little bit better with a bit stronger physicality than the Saints do. So I think they're going to be looking at Olave.
I went a different route, but same game. I got Alvin Kamara over 15 points. The Giants ranked 28th versus RBs. Amari and Hampton just had a big game against them. Mm-hmm. And I think the Saints are favored in this game, and I think the game's going to be close, so they're going to try to feature him a little bit more, unlike the blowout games they've had of lately. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, I have Quentin Johnson, your boy, 13 points. He's hit the 5+ mark for this number 2 out of 4 times. And they're playing Washington, who ranks 24th. I think he'll have a big catch, a big touchdown, and that should get him close to that number and some catches here and there. He'll be good to go. But I'll go straight into my bets here. I have Iowa State plus 1.5 points, even though it looks like a trap game on the road at Cincinnati. I just think Iowa State is the way better team in this. And I do think they win, but even if they don't, I'll take that 1 point.
Yeah, I went Iowa State money line.
Oh, really?
Straight up?
Nah, I considered it, but I mean, when it's like it's the same thing, I don't know, usually just take the points. And then I got
better odds.
Yeah. I got Michigan minus 16.5 points.
I was so close to putting that one in. Yeah.
I think they'll. Who they playing in?
Wisconsin.
I literally just saw Wisconsin. I don't like Wisconsin whatsoever. They're at home, coming off a bye week. I think they'll put the country on notice again and show why they're one of the contenders in the Big Ten and win by 17 or more. Then I got Florida plus 6.5. I think it's going to be defensive battle tough. I think they keep it close, even though I think Texans will win. Then I got Vandy plus 10.5. Like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be close. And 10.5 seems a little too much. I do like Vandy's team a lot. And then I got the over 53.5 in Miami versus Florida State. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think they can both put on 40 by themselves. So I'll take this 53.5. And then for NFL, I got Colts money line and Bills money line parlay. I think it's like minus 140. Like that a lot. I don't think both these teams should lose. And then lastly, I got Chargers minus 2.5 in a bounce back against the Commanders, who have been a little injured and struggling to start the season.
All right.
I'll pass it off to you.
Well, I already mentioned the Iowa State money line. I got the Miami money line. There was not a lot I loved out there. Like I said, the one I almost put for my spot was the Michigan one, but I decided to pivot. I just feel really sure about Miami winning, and the odds were, I think, a lot. I thought they'd be closer to minus like 300, minus 400. They were minus, I think, 170, so I'm taking that. And then for the NFL, I got the Lions minus 10.5. The Bengals have been outscored, I think, 76-13 in the last 2 weeks against Carson Wentz and the Broncos. This is the Lions who just outscore everybody handedly. I would hammer 30.5 line with the Lions. So the Lions minus 10.5. And lastly, the Cowboys and Jets over 47. I think the Cowboys by themselves could score 47.5. Then the Jets facing the Cowboys defense themselves could score 47.5. So
yeah, we're giving up at least 28.
Yeah. And the Dallas is also probably just going to. I think 28-28 is almost guaranteed.
Yeah, I almost bet that as well. But I was like, there has to be one game our defense shows up. And I hope it's that one. But you never know. But thank you guys for watching. A little slower week, not too crazy of a games, but still some good ones out there for y'all. And I hope you guys enjoy the games. And thank you guys for watching.